because the trust for Lenovo right now is to transform the workplace. And how is this possible? According to Mike kanina, we have launched the thinkbook 13S almost in August. Almost just around 2.5 months after, we're now launching the new product line, which is the thinkbook. And transforming it means that we will be sharing with you some highlights why thinkbook is very important to the industry right now. Well, in case right now that you would ask, bakit naman nilalabas ang thinkbook? Because right now, we in Lenovo, we want our customers to work smarter instead of being working harder. And this means that in SMB, especially small medium business customers, this is why the reason why thinkbook is launched, because of more and more customers, especially if you're an entrepreneur, a micro entrepreneur starting up your business, whether you're an employee or an employer. And in Philippines, marami tayong mga mini businesses that are being put up. And this means that in the workplace, it's being dominated by a lot of millennials and the Gen Z. Ako hindi na ako millennial because I was born in 1978. So millennials start from 1980 onwards, at the same time from 1980 to 1995. But the new generation workforce is dominated by at least the Gen Z, who are actually we're born to have already been introduced to the technology and also to the touch-based devices. And this is very important because 60% in the workforce are very demanding. They're very demanding on their style of business, their style of work. At the same time, in the past, when Lenovo was creating devices like the ThinkPads and also the IdeaPads, it delineates the difference between the two product lines. ThinkPads were more for enterprise-grade customers. Then IdeaPad were more for stylish customers going for consumer devices. But with a strong workforce coming into play and being more productive and creative work and collaboration, you cannot strap them down in their workplace. Mas gusto nila to do collaboration outside of the business environment. They do their business transactions in cafes, or even in restaurants, or even when I go to Starbucks or probably in coffee shops, I see a lot of BPO companies, mga small teams gathering in these places. So this is how the transformation of the businesses and business decisions come together. Now, let's talk about the differences between an IT customer purchasing their devices into retail. Now, the new workforce, like Mike mentioned, is they demand more style. Mas gusto nila style. ThinkPad has always been provided by corporations or corporate enterprise customers to their employees. However, sabi nga ni Mike, it's boring black. It's a classic black, but it's very powerful, very imminent on the features. However, millennials, when they want something stylish, they want something trendy. And what do? Is they go into retail shops. And what's also becoming a trend right now is most of you guys are going online, and heavily consumers and also IT managers rely heavily on reviews. They see reviews online because they rely this on nakita nila that they don't have the time to go into retail shop to check on or evaluate the unit. So if if a blogger or a user, an actual user, reviews the unit, they heavily rely on online, and they also purchase online. So new channels are also becoming a dawn of new channels where they buy. They either buy offline, going to the retail stores, or they buy through mga online shops or e-commerce. But however, when they do this, they have a little sacrifice. When they purchase consumer products, they sacrifice on what they call security features on a notebook, because some of the consumer notebooks don't have security features and business grade upgrades that can be provided for the next 3 to 5 years of their PC life cycle. So this is very important for SMB customers and entrepreneurs when they purchase, when they buy their new devices for their workforce or probably for their startup companies. So in Lenovo, what we did is we actually created a dimension of product that will actually address those needs, wherein it's stylish enough, that is trendy enough, that can last them 3 to 5 years of the PC life cycle. And at the same time, these features are modern devices, because what we put in is these types of customers, these SMB customers or micro entrepreneurs, they want something that is simplistic in design, but the features itself are modern in style. Which means that they don't also want to sacrifice security. So security features like kanina sinabi niyo, fingerprint reader, it provides security to customers so that they don't have to memorize all their passwords and also access to different multiple sites that have to secure their data. And what helps them is also with the notebooks that are coming out right now, we have ensured that our notebooks are able to have business-grade upgrades on warranty extensions up to 5 years of PC life cycle. So that's a good investment for startup companies and SME customers, especially when we are now launching the new ThinkBook 14 and 15 model. So what does the ThinkBook 14 and 15 have? 14 is the 14-inch model and 15 is the 15-inch model. This simple device, sophisticated device, is packed in with a lot of features. Modern device, when you call it, when they coin it, is this model must come in with an SSD. The basic features that we have is we're putting out already a 512 SSD as a standard feature on all our ThinkBook. At the same time, we're putting full HD IPS, the borderless screen on our ThinkBooks. What else? Most customers would always want to have expandability. We're not sacrificing this because we have 2 Type-C na ports, expandable ports, and 3 Type-A ports. So that's actually 5 USB ports all in all packed in one device. And these are features that you won't find in any other notebooks in the market. What else? If they go into to business meetings, they want to connect to RJ45 or LAN port. Karamihan ngayon Wi-Fi. But some companies will still rely on the RJ45 gigabit Ethernet. And this is the only device when consumer devices are veering away already from the RJ45, the LAN ports. And only when business-grade notebooks like the ThinkPad are taking away already those LAN ports, we are still maintaining this in our ThinkBook. HDMI connection, and the best thing about the ThinkBook, it's built with aluminum finish. Anodized aluminum finish on our ThinkBook because it makes it lighter, it makes it also sturdier as a robust product that they can carry along with them. Similar to the features of a ThinkPad that has been cascaded down into the ThinkBook. So a lot of features like also the touchscreen fingerprint reader, which is on the power button. So these are a lot of features that they can enjoy when they use the ThinkBook. Now let me go through what makes the ThinkBook very special and also